Hello everybody, Poncianinho speaking here, preparing another vlog for you. This is vlog number 14. Should be a quick one. Yesterday in my class, so yesterday was Sunday, and I had a class and I taught something that I thought was really worth sharing with you, okay? Now, do you know how we are always talking about capoeira's mind and body? And I think I spoke about this on another vlog. And it is true, capoeira is mind and body together, combination of your mind and your body in a skillful way. So I always think, how can we apply that into practice? It's good to say that, mind and body, but how can we apply? Now, the first thing to say is that anytime you think a little bit more as you're moving, you are applying that. It is also true that we spoke about being on a state of flow, that the conscious mind is not working so much, okay? But let's leave that on the side because I'm talking about practice. I'm talking about practice that will lead to that state of mind. So let me give you a simple example. When you do a kick, let's say a chapa, okay? You're doing a chapa. Now we can train that kick just as a kick. Chapa, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you know the basic techniques. Let's say you are, okay, if you're a beginner, you might be thinking more because the teacher is telling you, turn your foot, put your leg like this. So it's more thinking than just repetition, okay? But let's say you're a bit more experienced and you know a movement. And there's value in just training the movement as a repetition. But at the moment that the teacher brings something else to the practice, okay, so if I say, I want you to bring the leg back a little faster than you kicked, these are all qualities of the kick. I want you to, another one that will switch on the mind straight away, is if I say to you, I want you to find a target. So although you're hitting in the air, your foot might be a little bit random. So the teacher might say, think about that target every time. So just because you contemplate a little bit more what you're doing, you are connecting your mind with your body. So you have to think of a target and then your body hits the target, right? So that's mind and body. Now that can be in a quite simple exercise. So it's something, an easier combination of your mind, your body. Or that could be in something more complex, way more complex of body and mind, which is where I'm trying to get to. So one thing that will bring the body and mind together, in many ways in complexity, is imagery. Now, image is very powerful. I just told you about target. I could have used other examples, but image is very powerful. If you started capoeira as a child, or if you teach children, you know how powerful image is. Sometimes we rely entirely on the image of something, the imagination of something, right? So I even remember we didn't learn how to breathe in and out. The teacher would have said something like, sniff a flower and blow a candle. And that image of the flower and the candle, that makes you breathe. So you could use image to get to the end product. And sometimes the image can even add, well, I believe that it does, even add to the poetic meaning and to the emotional content of something. So how good is that? You've got something that will connect your body and your mind, that will make you move better because you're hitting the target, or in the case of the flower, you're getting the air into your lungs, and it could add an emotional content to what. So now we've got this idea that image can help me to move better and will create some memories that in the future you're going to even remember. A lot of things that I remember now are precisely those images that were created. Now, of course, some things can be very technical and they might be technical. You might need to tell someone, turn your foot, flex your foot, that kind of stuff. That could be trivial. But where you can use image is very powerful. Now, let's take a step further. What I did yesterday, I used image in terms of a photographic image, okay? So what I did, I worked with AU. AU is one of my favorite, I don't actually have a favorite move, but AU is very dear to me because let me tell you a little secret. I don't have a capoeira name like some people do. A lot of people have capoeira names. Okay, my name in capoeira is Poncianinho, which means little Pon. It's not my real name. My name is Ponciano, and my capoeira name is Poncianinho because Mestre Ponciano, my uncle, I'm the little Ponciano, and my great grandfather was also called Ponciano, so it runs in the family. So I don't have a name, but I did have a couple of names that didn't stay. Didn't stay. People did not call me that name. But my capoeira name is Au. And that's because when I was a child once, I was coming back from, it's a true story, I was coming back from a guitar lesson. This is in Guaratinguetá when I was a little boy. And there was nobody on it. It was a Sunday, I think. It was very quiet. And I had a guitar in my hand. And my uncle, Mestre Ponciano, was at the top of the street. He saw me. I was coming back from the guitar lesson with a guitar in my hand and doing Au on the street, non-stop. And must have been just something that you do as a child. And he said, you hold the guitar and you're doing the Au, you're going to be called Au. Anyway, so Au is my capoeira name, even though nobody calls me Au. So I'm fond of Au. But coming back to the point, what I told my students was quite a revelation for me. I really enjoyed that, and I started to train it myself. So it was very simple, but it was to use a photographic image of your body. So you are in a stance of Au, okay? So you are standing, let's say you have your legs wide. And what I told them, I said, take a photographic image of that stance, and take your body upside down into Au, and then repeat the image upside down. That's because I wanted them to open the knees, and then later I want them to close the legs and do a roleo, something. So I really wanted them to have the legs there and not behind the back or whatever. And it felt like it wasn't enough for me to say, have your feet in front of you, bring your legs down, all of those basic commands, which may work for some people, may not work for others. So I had to find something to tell them, that's the image I want. So when you scan your own body and you are in a stance, imagine I'm in a stance with open legs, okay? Now I've got that image very clear, which, would be like that. So then when they did their Au, they carry that image upside down. Now, guys, I could see the response straight away. Is they got the movement quicker. It felt nice because they're using the mind, they're connecting the mind and the body in a different level. Then I start to experiment. You can just imagine the kind of experiments. I start to experiment, feet together, come up, my feet together. So I want, basically, whatever stance I wanted to replicate up there. Now, what I also did is then you start to change that. So then I have a closed stance, but when I'm up there, I open the stance. But you've taken those photographic memories, shots, and you replicate as you move. So I thought I must do a vlog, just a quick vlog, to talk about the power of image. So this could be something that today I'm just introducing, but when I do something that really works, I'll bring it for you. Because that's a really powerful one that I used before for hand expression. And I think that's one that is going to be a big hit for us. So how can we find ways to increase the quality and to remember positions of the hand? So what I wanted to do is I wanted to exaggerate my hand. So if my hand is bigger, I can see more. And what I did is I took a plate, okay? I'm going to do another vlog about this one, because then we have the Au for now, and then we'll do another one. But I basically took a plate, just a plate, okay? This is where I put candle here. But I took a bigger plate. So now if I hold it like that, that is very clear, the inside and the outside of the plate. And then I started to use this with different movements. Now the best thing about this as well is when I take the plate out, my hand is in that place. It really is. So I can do that first. I can do that. And then my hand is in that place. So I used paper. I've got lots of paper plates, the one you use in like a picnic. And I got to just to experiment. you know, just to try different things. And the paper plate was so beautiful because when you bring close to the floor, it actually makes a sound on the floor, like. So then we start to get these sounds. Everybody was really, it's like, you know, beautiful in so many different ways. So I suppose it's always trying different things to get that. Now, of course, this again, you know, like a disclaimer that I want to say. This is methods that I'm using for my practice, and I'm not defending as better or worse or anything like that at all, because I know these vlogs go out there, and I'm sure teachers and masters have great techniques, better techniques to teach. I'm just quite obsessed with ways of seeing, and especially if ways that maybe doesn't really contradict what you're doing. It's not going to be much a longer journey to get there. Just ways that can excite it. But the combination between your mind and your body and using images, that I think I can say with confidence, it's a really positive and powerful way. So start by thinking, how can I use image in my training? Okay? And we'll come back to more of this. Obrigado. Tchau, tchau.